the leak happened May 30th or May 29th, like 1 or 2 days ago. This is like brand spanking new stuff. So I'm sure we have not read the 2,500 documents.
No, and we don't plan to. That's a lot of information to go into.
We don't have all of the answers that are coming out of this. There's a lot of information there.
I don't think you even need your tinfoil hat for our first discussion topic. Why would Google hide their ranking factors?
Okay, so first and foremost, if you knew how the algorithm worked, you would game it.
Yep.
You would immediately go, and I mean, you can treat this on everything. If I knew when to pull the slot machine to guarantee my win, I would only pull the slot machine when I was going to win. So they obviously can't give you all of the algorithm is going to be a bunch of weighting factors that all pull into whether or not and where you rank in search. Of course, they're not going to publish that because there would be people like us that would immediately go, let's go. They just released the best practices, and we would be idiots not to absolutely follow the instructions. And all of their competition would do the same thing. So you'd have all the other search engines go, let's do what they do because they are the leaders in the space. So of course they're not going to publish that stuff.
Yeah. And this used to be a problem when a lot of the ranking factors were more clearly defined and more widely available. Yeah. Keyword stuffing back in the 90s and adjusting your metadata to appear higher in search results used to be such a huge tactic in SEO that was bad for end users. It was bad for the search engines, but people knew that if they crammed the right metadata in there, they could appear earlier in search, so they'd use the system. I think Google's got a lot of good reasons for keeping their cards close to their chest and not wanting to let that happen again. That said, what do you think this new information actually means for businesses?
I would prefer if they just said, instead of lying, they just say no comment.
Sure.
There's never really a good reason to lie about it. So if they get asked by a journalist, hey, do you factor in clicks? No comment. Zero information. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. We don't discuss our algorithm publicly or whatnot. You get no information because now this doesn't feel like I misled the public.
I agree. Fundamentally, I agree. There's no reason to be lying to people.
Yeah.
I will play devil's advocate for a minute, though. What would you have them do if there is a controversy over something they are perceived to be doing?
Like, how would they get ahead of it? How would they address the public if they were accused of
if they were
biasing certain information over another?
Without just if their policy is to not discuss their algorithm at all.
Right.
What would you have them say when someone says...
I would have a clever lawyer and a PR expert draft a statement that spokesperson is going to say is, we don't play favorites. All of the information that gets weighted by the algorithm is independent. We don't... I would tell the truth. I would tell the truth, but without getting specific into what the algorithm does or how this...
and I think that kind of gets us to the crux of why this situation is so muddy.
Yeah.
Because based on these documents that were released, we don't actually know the facts or the scope of what Google was doing with the information. We just know that they have notes about potential ways to use information.
Yeah.
And, so in the past, if someone said, are you using clicks
to influence...
and rank search results, and we don't like that, Google may have had a PR person who's not a technology expert come in and say, no, we don't do that.
But we don't do that, yeah.
And that might have been true. They might not have done it. It might just be something that was floated as an idea in internal documents. We don't know from this leak, at least from how it's being reported.
We're going to find out more. Because this, depending on the scale of this and what happens, you might be seeing more of this in our next episode. Because we really pay attention to SEO and what Google is doing because it plays such a big part in our work. And so we're going to find out more, sure.
Not every business owner has the time or desire to pay a lot of attention to SEO. So as a small business owner, how can you navigate search engine optimization and search engine marketing?
From a non-technical standpoint, you build content for your user.
Sure.
And that's typically a best practice. It's not keyword stuffing. It's making your potential audience's life easier. You put the data where people are looking for it. You write clear and concisely. That's also easier said than done, though, right? Big time.
You probably need to work with a search engine optimization specialist to make that happen.
Yes.
One thing we've seen a lot of is businesses putting out content that they think is answering their audience's questions, and they've never actually looked at any of the search data to find out what answers potential customers are actually looking for.
One of the biggest things we see is like, oh, I need a new website. So we talk about, okay, what does this new website look like? You've already got one. Oh, we need to move all this content. We need to move the whole blog over. It's like, well, what is the value of spending a whole bunch of money moving a bunch of pages that don't have any value? Like, when you move from house to house, you typically try not to move all of your junk and garbage at the same time. There's a little bit of purge that happens. I want to take the best of everything. Let's not carry forward the mistakes. So you definitely need to get an expert in there if you're not comfortable using something like Google Search Console, Google Analytics, if you're not using any kind of SEM software or SEO software. So if you're not using something like Screaming Frog or Ahrefs, something like that, if you're not comfortable doing that, you have to get a professional involved. When you are building new content, there's a really, really good way to figure out what content there is to build. It's talk to your audience.
Yeah.
Talk to them in the reel. You have a clipboard out and you record their questions that they're asking you in real time. And if that question appears 50 times, your website's not doing a good job answering it. Your social media is not doing a good job answering it. You can do a better job displaying that information to them, regardless if that's going to benefit your SEO or not.
Yeah.
This is just better for your customer. Typically, there's a bunch of SEO benefit to answering good questions or common questions. But yeah, there's going to be all kinds of technical things like where do you actually put it on the site? How do you actually structure the data? Why do you want to have proper headings? Things like that. But at the end of the day, even the SEO expert isn't going to have the boots on the ground information that you're going to have interacting with your staff day to day. They're going to have the digital version of that between what is actually being searched for online.
Like most things in our sphere, there's no one-off magical answer that's going to solve all your problems.
If there was, we'd sell it to you.
Well, sure.
We would sell it to you every day, but it doesn't exist.
It takes a multifaceted approach. And this is where a lot of small businesses struggle because like they go, I want a new website, but you're not thinking about what kind of content you're going to deliver on that website, how that relates to your customers. You're not thinking about how you're going to drive traffic to that website. I think one of the biggest pitfalls you can make as a small business owner looking to improve their online presence is going and building out budget for a website overhaul or a brand new website, and then not building in a content strategy or any kind of long-term marketing plan for actually pushing traffic to that website. It's a crazy waste of money to go and optimize a website that no one is visiting.
Yeah. So like the big thing there is like, do you want the new website because you think it will make you more money? Or is it like breaking and it's taking a lot of time and resources to keep alive because it was built 15 years ago? Like if it's designed, if you're trying to say, I need a new website because I want my revenue to go up, the age-old phrase "build it and they will come" is not true.
Yeah.
The new website will not make you more money without a whole bunch of supporting pieces. So back to the Google search leak, from the state of things, it sounds like they have misled or lied or something in terms of what things the Google algorithm is looking for and waiting. We kind of knew that already. Like the algorithm's huge. There's so many factors that go into this.
Yeah.
So like, just because they're tracking clicks and clicks are a weighted factor, it wasn't something that you could go and get as a small business owner. Like, oh, I know Google cares about clicks. Oh, I need to get more clicks.
Yeah.
That's not something that you can go and harvest.
I wouldn't be going to your SEO expert and like harassing them to make sure your website is updated based on this leak. It's not that kind of information. We may uncover new tools in the near future that can help your websites gain more traction. Yeah. And that's something that your SEO partner should be keeping an eye on and coming back to you with if it develops into something actionable.